She tried to sue me for palimony after 11 months of dating. Claimed she deserved my house, my car, even my dog. Then I walked into court with one document that changed everything. When the judge looked at it, his expression said it all. My name is Marcus. I'm 32, work in software development, and until 6 months ago, I thought I had a pretty good handle on reading people. Turns out, I was spectacularly wrong. I met Vanessa at a charity fundraiser in January of last year. She was gorgeous, tall, confident, worked in real estate, drove a BMW she claimed was leased through her company. She approached me first, which should have been flattering, but looking back, that was the first red flag I missed. Within 3 weeks, we were exclusive. Within 2 months, she had a drawer at my place. By month 4, she'd moved in most of her clothes and started referring to my house as ours. I own my home outright. Bought it 5 years ago when the market dipped, paid it off aggressively because I hate debt. It's a 3-bedroom in a good neighborhood, nothing fancy, but it's mine, or it was supposed to be. Vanessa loved that house, loved telling her friends about it, loved posting pictures of our place on Instagram with carefully curated captions about building a life together. I thought it was sweet. I thought she was proud of us. The relationship moved fast, but it felt right. She was attentive, affectionate, always talking about our future. Marriage, kids, the whole package. I was cautious. I'd been burned before, but she seemed different. She seemed real. Then November happened. We'd been together 11 months. Not quite a year. She started getting distant, picking fights over nothing. I'd come home from work, and she'd be upset that I hadn't texted her enough during the day. Or I'd suggest takeout, and she'd accuse me of not caring about her needs. Classic stuff, but it escalated quickly. On November 19th, I came home early. I'd left work at 3 because I had a migraine. I walked into my own house and found Vanessa on my couch, on her phone, laughing. When she saw me, she didn't even flinch. "We need to talk," she said. I sat down, confused. "Okay, what's going on?" She took a breath, like she was preparing for a speech. "Marcus, I don't think this is working anymore. I need space. I need to focus on myself." I was stunned. "Where is this coming from? Is this about last week? Because I apologize for missing your work thing." "It's not about that," she cut me off. "It's about us. We want different things. I need to move out." I nodded slowly, trying to process. "Okay, I'm not happy about it, but if that's what you need, I'll need time to find a place," she continued. "Probably a month or 2. And I'll need help with the deposit and first month's rent. Maybe $15,000. I blinked. $15,000? I gave up my apartment to move in with you, Marcus. I've been contributing to this household. You pay for groceries sometimes, I said, my voice flat. That's not the same as rent or a mortgage. Her expression hardened. I've invested almost a year of my life into this relationship, into this home. I deserve compensation for that. That's when I knew something was very, very wrong. "Vanessa, you're not entitled to my money just because we dated." She smiled, and it wasn't a nice smile. "We'll see about that." She moved out 3 days later. Took all her stuff, plus a few things that weren't hers, a set of kitchen knives I'd gotten as a housewarming gift, a throw blanket my sister made me, and, weirdly, a framed photo of my dog, Cooper. I let it go. I wanted her gone. I thought that was the end of it. Update 1. December 3rd, I got served. Vanessa was suing me for palimony, a legal concept that barely exists in most states anymore. She was claiming we had a domestic partnership, and that she was entitled to financial support and a division of assets acquired during our relationship. She wanted 50% of my home's equity. 50%. She also wanted my car, a 2021 Audi I'd saved for years to buy. And she wanted Cooper, my 3-year-old golden retriever that I'd adopted before I even met her. I sat in my kitchen reading the lawsuit, genuinely wondering if I was hallucinating. The document was 37 pages long. It claimed she'd given up career opportunities to support our relationship. It claimed I'd promised to take care of her financially. It claimed we'd discussed marriage extensively and that she'd relied on those promises to her detriment. All lies. Complete fabrications. I called my brother, David, who's a paralegal. He told me to get a lawyer immediately and not engage with her directly. I hired an attorney named Patricia Chun, mid-50s, sharp as hell, with a reputation for eating people like Vanessa for breakfast. Our first meeting was December 8th. "This is bold," Patricia said, flipping through the lawsuit. "Stupid but bold. How long were you together?" 11 months. "She lived with you?" "About 7 months, unofficially. She never paid rent. She wasn't on any lease or mortgage documents." Patricia made notes. "Did you ever promise her anything? Marriage? Financial support? We talked about the future sometimes, but nothing concrete. And I never promised to support her financially." "Good. Do you have any written communication? Texts, emails?" "Tons. Send me everything. Every text, every email, every social media message. I need to see the full picture." I spent the next 2 days combing through my phone. Reading old messages made me feel sick. Early texts where she said she loved me. Photos we'd taken together. But mixed in were telling details. Her asking to borrow money, me saying no, her getting upset, her complaining that I wasn't generous enough, her hinting that if I really loved her. I put her name on the house. I sent everything to Patricia. December 15th, we had a strategy session. "She's screwed," Patricia said bluntly. "Her case has no legal standing. Palimony suits are nearly impossible to win in this state unless there's clear proof of a contract, written or oral, where you explicitly promise financial support in exchange for something. Dating someone doesn't create that obligation. So why is she doing this? 2 reasons. Either she's delusional or she's hoping you'll settle to make it go away. Litigation is expensive. She's betting you'll pay her $20,000 or $30,000 to drop it. I'm not paying her anything." Patricia smiled. "Good, because I'm going to bury her." Update 2. The preliminary hearing was January 14th. I took the day off work, wore a suit, showed up 30 minutes early. Vanessa arrived 10 minutes late with her attorney, a guy who looked about 12 years old and kept fumbling his papers. The courtroom was small, just the judge, a court reporter, and us. Judge Morrison was in his 60s, black, with reading glasses perched on his nose and an expression that suggested he'd seen every kind of nonsense humanity could produce. Vanessa's attorney went first. He argued that Vanessa had sacrificed her independence to build a life with me, that she'd been promised security, that the relationship constituted a domestic partnership under common law. Judge Morrison let him finish, then looked at Patricia. "Ms. Chun." Patricia stood. "Your Honor, this lawsuit is without merit. The plaintiff and my client dated for 11 months. She lived in his home for 7 of those months, rent-free, without any formal agreement. There is no evidence of a contract, implied or otherwise. This is a nuisance suit designed to extract money from my client." The judge glanced at the paperwork. "Ms. Chun, you filed a motion to dismiss?" "Yes, Your Honor. We've also filed for sanctions under Rule 11 for bringing a frivolous claim." Vanessa's attorney jumped up. "Your Honor, this is not frivolous." "Sit down," Judge Morrison said calmly. "I'll review the motion and the evidence. We'll reconvene in 2 weeks." As we left the courtroom, Vanessa tried to approach me. "Marcus, we don't have to do this." "Don't talk to me," I said, walking past her. Patricia pulled me aside. "She's panicking." Good. 2 weeks felt like forever. I couldn't focus at work. I couldn't sleep. The idea that this woman I'd trusted was trying to take everything from me was eating me alive. Then Patricia called me on January 23rd. "Marcus, I need you to come to my office." Now. I drove over in a panic. When I got there, Patricia was grinning. "What is it?" She slid a document across her desk. "This is Vanessa's financial disclosure, required in any Palimony case. And look what she listed as her income for last year." I scanned the page. $237,000. I stared at it. "Wait." She told me she made like $60,000. She said she was struggling. She lied. She's a successful realtor. She made almost $250,000 last year. And look at this. She owns a condo in Riverside. Paid off. She never gave up her apartment. "Marcus, she's been renting it out on Airbnb while living with you." My hand started shaking. She lied about everything. "Gets better," Patricia said. I subpoenaed her phone records. She's been seeing someone else since September. A guy named Trevor. They've been planning this together. There are texts where they joke about taking you for everything you've got. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. Can we use this? Oh, we're absolutely using this. And Marcus? I found one more thing. She handed me another document. It was a lease agreement, dated January 15th of last year, 2 weeks after Vanessa and I met. She signed a 2-year lease on a luxury apartment downtown the same month she met you. She never intended to build a life with you. She was always planning to leave. She just wanted to see what she could get. Update 3. The next hearing was February 4th. This time, I wasn't nervous. I was furious. We walked into court with 3 bankers' boxes of evidence. Patricia had prepared a 50-page response to Vanessa's lawsuit, complete with financial records, text messages, and witness statement from my friends who'd seen her behavior firsthand. Judge Morrison entered, and we stood. Ms. Chun, I've reviewed your motion to dismiss. Before I rule, does the plaintiff have anything to add? Vanessa's attorney stood, but he looked pale. Your Honor, we'd like to request a continuance to review new information. Denied. Judge Morrison said flatly. Ms. Chun, you may proceed. Patricia stood and walked to the front of the courtroom. She didn't waste time. Your Honor, the plaintiff has committed fraud upon this court. She has lied about her financial situation, her living arrangements, and the nature of her relationship with my client. She has submitted false statements under penalty of perjury. We have evidence that she maintained her own residence throughout the relationship, that she misrepresented her income, and that she was engaged in an extramarital affair, or rather, extra-relationship affair, during the last 3 months of her time with my client. She handed a folder to the bailiff, who passed it to the judge. We're requesting immediate dismissal with prejudice, sanctions against the plaintiff and her attorney, and attorney's fees to be paid by the plaintiff in the amount of $43,000. Judge Morrison opened the folder. He read for what felt like an hour, but was probably 3 minutes. When he looked up, his expression was cold. Ms. Hartley, stand up. Vanessa stood. She looked small suddenly and scared. Did you or did you not sign a lease for an apartment on January 15th of last year? Vanessa's voice was barely a whisper. Yes, Your Honor. Did you or did you not rent out said apartment on Airbnb while living with the defendant? Yes. Did you or did you not report income of $237,000 last year while claiming financial hardship in your complaint? Your Honor, I can explain. That's a yes or no question. Yes. Judge Morrison removed his glasses. Ms. Hartley, you have wasted this court's time, the defendant's time, and your own attorney's time with a lawsuit that is not only without merit, but based on demonstrable lies. I am dismissing this case with prejudice. You are barred from filing any further claims related to this matter. I am sanctioning you $5,000 for bringing a frivolous lawsuit, and I am awarding the defendant $43,000 in attorney's fees. You have 30 days to pay. Vanessa started crying. Her attorney tried to speak, but Judge Morrison held up his hand. I'm not finished. Mr. Garrett, as her attorney, you had a duty to verify your client's claims. You failed. You're sanctioned $2,500. Both of you will be reported to the State Bar for review. He banged his gavel. We're done here. Update 4. Walking out of that courtroom felt surreal. Vanessa tried to approach me in the hallway, mascara running down her face. Marcus, please, I'm sorry. I stopped, looked at her. You tried to take my home, my car, my dog. Because what? You thought I was an easy target. I made a mistake. No, you made a choice, and now you have to live with it. I walked away. Patricia high-fived me in the parking lot. Over the next few weeks, the fallout was spectacular. Vanessa's real estate license was suspended pending an ethics investigation. Turns out, lying in court raises questions about your professional integrity. Trevor, the guy she'd been cheating with, dumped her when he found out about the lawsuit. Apparently, he wasn't interested in someone with $50,000 in legal debt. She tried to contact me multiple times, calls, texts, even showing up at my house once. I got a restraining order. Haven't heard from her since March. As for me, I'm doing okay. Cooper's still here, still the best dog on the planet. My house is mine, my car is mine, and I'm $43,000 richer once Vanessa's payment plan clears. Patricia says it'll take her about 3 years to pay it all off. I started dating again in April. Slowly, very slowly. I'm a lot more careful now about who I let into my life and my home. Final update. It's now October. Almost a year since Vanessa walked out of my life and tried to destroy it. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she's working as a secretary now, living in a studio apartment, driving a used Honda. Her real estate career is basically over. The state bar suspended her attorney for 6 months. I don't feel bad for her. I don't feel vindicated either, really. I mostly feel grateful that I had the resources to fight back. A lot of guys in my position wouldn't have been able to afford Patricia, and they would have settled just to make it go away. That's what people like Vanessa count on. They weaponize the legal system and hope you're too tired, too broke, or too scared to call their bluff. I'm still working through trust issues. My therapist says that's normal. I have good days and bad days. But I have my home, my dog, my life. And I have a hell of a story about the one that got away and then tried to sue me for the privilege. If there's anything I learned from this nightmare, it's that you can't know someone in 11 months. You can't even know them in a year. People will show you who they are eventually, but you have to be paying attention. And when they show you, believe them. Edit 1. For everyone asking, yes, I did get Cooper microchipped under my name years before I met Vanessa. That was actually one of the documents Patricia brought to court. Proof of ownership dated 3 years before the relationship. Judge Morrison actually laughed when Vanessa's attorney tried to claim she had formed a bond with him. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking if I saw this coming. Honestly? No. That's the scariest part. She seemed normal. She seemed great. The red flags were there, but they were small, little comments about money, little tests to see how far she could push. I ignored them because I wanted it to work. That's on me. Edit 3. I've had a few messages asking about dating advice. I'm not an expert, clearly, but I will say this. Don't let someone move in with you until you've been together at least a year. Don't combine finances until you're married. And trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Also, get a good lawyer on speed dial. You never know when you'll need one.